Addiction is a nationwide epidemic. Alcohol is one of the worst culprits. There may be hope on the way in the form of a pill. And here to tell us more is Bill Stilley. He is the CEO of Adial Pharmaceuticals. Welcome to Bay Area Focus.
Thank you, Michelle. Glad to be here.
So let's first talk about the addiction part and the causes of alcoholism.
Well, I think the causes of alcoholism are actually still being discovered. And in fact, kind of one of the foundations of our company is that we believe alcohol addiction is a multifactorial disease. And in fact, I'd even say we believe it's a multitude of diseases. And so if you look at our first drug, which we're developing now, is called AD04. That's the code word that we have. And eventually it'll have a brand name as we get through the final stages of development, which we're about to start. It is genetically targeted, meaning you get a genetic test. If you're positive, then you would be expected to respond to the drug. And that's what happened in the trials up till now. And so we believe that this drug can help those patients. But in the future, as we start to understand more about the brain, more about addiction, we'll be able to develop other drugs, and other people will develop other drugs to help, a different segment of the population.
Well, because right now the drugs on the market, they are just a one for all, right? So, they're not really designed for a specific person. They're just designed for addiction. So this one is a little more specific?
It is. It's something they call precision medicine. And with the unlocking of the genome that occurred at the turn of the century, it really is now something that is in its nascent, early stages, but I think it's the wave of the future. It's how all drugs are going to be targeted. And we've known for years, think about antidepressants. Most people need to try about three antidepressants before they finally find one that works for them. And so there's something different about different people. And then if you talk about alcohol addiction in particular, think about, the patterns of drinking, the many patterns that there are. Some people that have a problem, they get up in the morning and they have to have that drink early, and they drink at low levels maybe all day, and they can sometimes drink 20 or 30 drinks during a day, and you might not know they're doing it. And then there are some people that can go years without drinking, and then they have that one drink and it just triggers it, and they go on, a bender, as they call it.
Right.
And the bender might be a night, or the bender might be 6 months. And so to treat all of these patients exactly the same way, and we believe that other diseases are having similar things going on, is probably not necessarily the most effective treatments. And so Adial Pharmaceuticals is leading the charge, we believe, in precision medicine for the treatment of addiction.
Okay, so what does a patient experience when they take this medication?
So in a 283 patient phase 2B trial, which is getting later stage in the trial process, our next step, and by the way, we conducted an initial public offering about 6 months ago to raise funds for the final stages to go for an approval. That's called phase 3. In the phase 2B, which is the last trial, it was a 283 patient trial. Patients had a significant reduction in how often they drank, and then importantly, when they drank, almost 60% reduction in the amount they drank at the time. So it allowed them to control the intake, control the alcohol, rather than have the alcohol control them. And so we believe this is through a reduction in craving, and our drug is known to work through what they call the dopamine. It's a serotonin blocker that works through a dopamine system, and dopamine is known as the reward molecule.
So this handles the craving part of it, whereas some drugs, if you take it then you drink, you get sick. And so that prevents people from wanting to drink because they're just going to get sick.
Correct. And the idea is they're kind of Pavlov's dog, right? You get sick, then you learn not to. And I'd even say what's happened with that drug, and again, like you said, you take the medicine. If you then drink while you've taken the medicine, you get violently ill. It can actually be fatal. And what ends up happening with that drug is the patients don't take it. And it has almost no sales. Nobody's willing to take it.
Well, we kind of mentioned this earlier, but give us an idea of how much of a problem alcohol addiction is.
Yeah, absolutely. It is one of the single worst diseases in the world and in the United States. So when I put a finer point on that, The Lancet, one of the most prestigious medical journals, came out just a few months ago and said that alcohol is the leading cause, the #1 cause of death, people ages 15 to 49. You're not supposed to be dying during those ages, right? The childhood diseases are gone.
Young.
The older, and it's the productive years. The CDC, the NIAAA, which the CDC, Center for Disease Control, and the NIAAA, National Institute of Alcoholism and Alcohol Abuse, both said that there's $250 billion a year of damage to the U.S. economy. American Oncology Association says that 5 to 6% of cancers are directly caused by alcohol. One of the absolute biggest problems in the U.S. and in the world.
It is a big problem. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming on Bay Area Focus and talking to us about this and Adial Pharmaceuticals.
Thank you, Michelle. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, thank you so much. Coming up, Girl Trek when Bay Area Focus returns in a moment.